church family, it's Brandi here, and it's bedtime stories time. So tonight, we're going to read a story called Daniel and the Lion's Den. And this comes from a book of the Bible called Daniel. This comes from chapters 6 through 28. And it goes like this. Well, hello there again, getting ready for bed? Oh, you'd like to hear one more quick story instead? Then hold on to your bear or your beanie bag buddy. Get comfy and snug, and we'll sit back and study. The tale of a godly, good government guy. A government guy who would not cheat or lie. No, really, it's true. Yes, he did, and he was. I'm not making it up. And I wouldn't, because God expects truth. And so Daniel was true. Just as true blue ever did or could do. Daniel did his job well. In fact, he was the best. He was honest and truthful, wise, thoughtful, and blessed. So you'd think that his workmates would love him. They must. But they hated his godly, good governing guts. So those grouchy old guys took their grumpy gray heads and they thought up a plan to destroy Dan instead. They'd catch him red-handed, smack dab in the act of some low-down and dirty misdeed. But in fact, though they slinked and they spied and they privately eyed every deed Daniel did and each thing that he tried, all those grumpy old goobers could not find one tad or wee slender small thing Daniel did that was bad. Yes, those grouchy old guys were confused and perplexed. They were scratching their heads over what to do next, when right up and on out of their angry, numb noodles came thoughts so pitch-blackened by oodles and oodles of years lived outside the goodness of God, that they pestered and festered and nibbled and gnawed at the place in their hearts that was faithful and true, and just chewed a big hole right on out and clean through. If he will not do something that's creepy and stinky, we'll make something up, they all said. So I think we should wind up our wits and think up a new plan to get rid of that godly good government man. So the very next day, they marched up to the king, and they smiled a big smile as they started to spring their deceitful, dishonest, despicable trick. And the king never knew. It was over that quick. "Oh, great king," they sang out, all whipped creamy and sweet, "we bow down and we kiss your two hairy brown feet. For your humble, wise servants do wish and agree that the king should proclaim a new royal decree, that whoever would dare to give worship or praise or to kneel down and pray for the next 30 days unto anyone other than your own sweet self should be rounded on up from each closet and shelf and then thrown to the lions, both damsel and dude, to be chomped on and chewed like a sack of fast food." "Well, that sounds good to me. Yes, that sounds like great fun. So let's let it be written and let it be done." And with that, the king signed a new royal decree that could never be changed. Not one Q or one T. Not by king or by queen, not by damsel or dude, not till 30 long, nail-chomping days would conclude. Well, when Daniel found out, it was truly a shock. Oh, but what did he do? Did he shudder and knock? Did he run for the hills? Did he whimper and bend? Did he crawl in a hole and just try to pretend that he was not a mighty young man after God? He did not. For like you, he was caught up and awed by the wonder and love of his heavenly king. And so Daniel did not change one wee little thing. He went up to his room and tore open the shutters and prayed till the walls and the roof and the gutters all shook with the furious, wild love of God, till his heart and his mind and his chubby wee bod were alive with new life. Yes, he prayed and he prayed, which is just what he did at that time every day. So they rounded him up like they said that they would. Oh, those grumpy old guys thought they had him. But good, for the king had no choice. He would have to conclude. Daniel broke his new law and would have to be chewed. Yes, the king knew that Daniel was faithful and true. He was true as true blue ever did or could do. But he made that dumb law, and he knew he'd been tricked. And quite soon little Daniel would be lapped up and licked by those hungry young lions, those fangs and those claws. Oh, but what could he do? Not one thing. So he paused and said, "Throw him on in. He would not hide his faith, but may God whom he serves keep him comfy and safe." Then the king ran away to his kingly-sized bed, and poor Daniel was thrown in and left there for dead. And deep down in that hole, with those big, hungry guys, that wee Daniel did do. What wee Daniel did do should have been no surprise. For as often I say, and as everyone knows, every cat loves to pray everywhere that he goes. So they pulled up their rocks and their chairs and their pews, and they said their hellos and their how do you do's. Then they passed the whole night, the whole godly good time, in Isaiah 11, verse 6 through verse 9. But the king couldn't sleep. He was up the whole night, just a tossing and turning the way that you might if your very best friend was alone in the zoo, all because of a dippy thing done just by you. So he ran to the den and tore open the door and yelled, "Dan, are you down there?" Dan yelled back, "Oh, sure. We were just going to close with a quick word of prayer. And then once we clean up, I'll be out and right there." Now, as you surely know, having church the whole night can work up a powerfully strong appetite. So when Daniel walked out, guess who got thrown in? We'll leave it at that. Liars never do win. That's all for tonight. Good night.